Gracias. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, seeing none, the agenda is approved. And next is approval of the minutes. And I am so excited to share with you all that we do actually have minutes today. We don't just have recordings. Our wonderful executive rights organizer, Rick, has graciously taken minutes for us. And so I am very happy about that. We actually have some minutes to produce. So give me one moment. There they are. Okay. Share my screen and hope it doesn't freeze. For those that have their hands up, do you still have a question, or did you just forget to put the little emoji down? Okay, thank you. All right. So here are the minutes. And, I also sent them in the email. So with that, are there any objections to the approval of minutes? Okay. Let me just scroll through. Okay. Seeing none, the minutes are approved, and we will go back to our agenda. Just give me a moment. Okay, and next we have roll call. And we will have your name, pronouns, position, and the question is, how are you? And I'll start on my screen, and we'll start with Carl.
Hi everyone, my name is Carl Azwu, Senator, pronouns are he, him, his. And honestly, I am exhausted and tired just because the whole Senate has been working so hard, and the amount of disrespect we got this week was just too much. So, but I'm still pushing through, and I'm also excited for this week. So yeah, I think I'm tired but excited at the same time.
I hear that. Next is Anne.
I'm Anne. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm an Azwu senator. And I echo everything Carl just said.
Thank you. Next is Giraldi.
Hey, I'm Giraldi. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm a senator on Azwu. I'm also just exhausted, both from just reading what's happening in the Senate. I haven't been able to attend as I'm also running interviews for ambassadors right now. So it's been a very stressful 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Thank you for your work. Next is Dom.
Hi everyone, my name is Dominique. My pronouns are she, they, and I am an Azwu senator. I really just agree with everyone else. I am currently exhausted and tired mentally and emotionally from all of this, and it's extremely frustrating and infuriating that we've had to drag this out so long because they refuse to take responsibility and they refuse to be held accountable. And on top of that, it's even more infuriating that they've come to the point of personally attacking our Senate president because they won't just sit down and just take responsibility for their violations. It's completely undermining, and it's very disheartening and disappointing to watch and have to deal with, because it just kind of, for me personally, I know it makes me feel like they think that we're not doing enough, and it kind of feels like this progress at some point was kind of pointless, but we're getting there. So yeah.
Thank you all for your honesty and expressing your feelings. I want this to always be a safe space, so thank you. And next is Marian.
Hi, my name is Marian. I go by she, her, hers pronouns. I'm an Azwu senator.
And I am also very tired from this week and just from classes. There's a lot of work going on.
Is Cassidy.
Hi, my name is Cassidy. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm a student. I am very tired and busy, but I'm doing okay.
And next is Cesar.
Hey everyone, my name is Tafsar. I go by he, him, his. I'm a Wu senator, and basically the same boat as Marion. Just a little tired. This past week has been crazy, and then the weather's not helping. I've been really cold for these past 2 days, so we have that going on. Yeah.
And for the record, Senator Stevens and Tina Feeks has entered the room. And we're just doing introductions right now. So we will just get on there and then I'll just get right on to you in a moment. And next is Joseph.
Hi everyone, I'm Joseph. I'm the OSOC organizer for OSA, and I'm also feeling pretty tired.
You. And next is Vice President Ongdi.
Good afternoon, everyone, senators. Yep, my name is Devin, ASWU Vice President, and currently I am exhausted. Yeah, just a lot going on, but I'm happy to be here with you all. And yeah.
Next is Mary.
Hi, my name is Mary. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm just really stressed out with like my own life and with the Freedom Center and all that kind of situation. It's just really stressing and yeah.
You. And next is Hunter.
Hello, everybody. My name is Hunter Hall. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm the ASVU Director of Visual Communications. And like everybody, I'm mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausted. But we continue, you know, and also thank you all for like the tremendous amount of work and effort and time you all have been putting into this, like crazy. Couldn't imagine it. Anyways.
You. And thank you for attending. It's exciting to have other people from ASU join. So, and next is Rick.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rick Williams. My pronouns are they and them. I'm the Equal Rights Organizer for the Oregon Student Association, and I'm hungry and I can't wait to eat dinner.
Same. I was about to eat dinner, but I was like, I don't have time. So hopefully after it's going to be cold. And next is Deshaun.
Hello, my name is Deshaun Stevens. I am one of the senators. What was the other question? Just how we're doing? Okay. So I'm doing pretty well, honestly. Got some stuff figured out, kind of got some things squared away for the next few terms. So I'm actually doing pretty well today.
Awesome. And next is Tina.
Good evening. Hello, Senate. My name is Tina Fuchs. I use she, her pronouns. I'm serving as the interim vice president for student affairs. And I want to point out to Devin Thongdi that you were vice president before me. And how am I doing? I am doing okay. I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking.
Or as reading the chat. So I am going to for Hannah's introduction. They're really busy, so they're in the midst of something. So I can do their update real quick. So their name is Hannah Young. They use she, her pronouns, and they are the digital administrator for ASWU. I was like, for what? For ASWU. And they said, I am fine, LOL, which is pretty accurate. And I think I did get everybody, but if not, just raise your little emoji hand and I'll get to you. President Jackson.
Okay, sorry, I just logged on. What's the question?
Sorry. And for the record, President Jackson to join. At what time? I don't remember, but it was like 2 minutes ago. And all you're doing is name, pronouns, positions, and the question is, how are you?
Oh, good. Okay. Hi, my name is Logan Jackson, she, her, hers, as the president, and I am surviving. That's it.
Yeah, that's accurate. So now that leaves me, I'm pretty sure. Hello, my name is Elizabeth. My pronouns are she, her, hers. You can also call me Zizi, whatever it is. I usually respond to either of those names. Did I always do my, okay, I think I did my pronouns. I don't know. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I'm the ASWU Senate president. And how am I? Well, as you can see, I kind of have short-term memory loss right now. I don't know why. I think I'm just really tired and I just can't remember a lot of things, but I'm trying. I'm doing okay. Considering I'm just tired, you know. I'm 5 months away from graduating, as is all of the branch heads actually. So congratulations to us, we made it this far. And so, you know, I think that has to, you know, yeah, surviving is a really good word, especially 5 months away. But that's the light at the end of the tunnel. My apologies. Okay. So, okay, wonderful. Did I get everybody? I forgot our advisor. No, I need to not. Okay, I'm sorry. It's Chelsea's turn.
You're totally fine. I was literally listening to my son and my mom and my stepdad singing Jingle Bells. So I'm here for it. It's totally fine. Because you know what else would they do? Hi, I'm Chelsea Bladner. I'm interim director. Hi, I'm Chelsea Bladner. I'm interim director for. Whoa. Okay. So, you know, now you know me twice. She, her, hers. How am I doing? I'm okay. I'm really looking forward to that. Tonight is the last late night meeting for the week. So I'm super stoked about that. And I'm eating dinner all at the same time. So I feel you, Rick. And so you might see me eating stuff. So I apologize.
Wonderful. Thank you. Introductions have always not been my strong suit because I always forget somebody. So thank you. All right, let me pull up the agenda real quick. Okay. And actually, we have one more introduction. For the record, Blanca Jimenez entered at 5:20 p.m. and we have another addition. Dr. Kenton, for the record, has also joined at 5:20 p.m. Okay. Wonderful. To those that have just joined, thank you so much for joining. We just concluded introductions, but since you all came, we'll still do introductions. Right now, we are doing, for introductions, we're doing name, pronouns, position, and the question is, how are you? And I will start with Blanca.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Blanca, pronouns are she, her, ella. I already forgot what we were supposed to say, but I am senator and I am stressed. I'm still here at work, so hey.
Thank you for joining. And I believe last we have Dr. Kenton.
Thank you, Madam President. My name is Jay Kenton. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm an interim president and I'm kind of stressed myself.
Yes, that is the college life. Should it be? I don't know, but you know, that's okay. It's okay. Okay, wonderful. So next we have the branch head updates, and I will pull that up as well, just so that we can have that visual kind of representation. If the branch heads would like to go over their updates, they are more than welcome to. Just give me one moment. There we go. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and hope it does not freeze. Okay, can everybody see that? Okay, perfect. Oh, well, yeah. So these are the updates, and we'll begin with President Jackson.
Yeah, so last week I attended the shared governance meeting with our Director of Equity and Director of Multicultural Advocacy. And we're currently working on a spring term student-led summit where we'll be kind of focusing on diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, and just like addressing issues that we have on campus. So students will have the opportunity to come and like give their comments and concerns. And so we're working through that, looking at dates. And so I'll keep you guys updated on how that's going. I attended the IFC open hearings last night. And also last week I met with President Kenton. I mean, that's like, I guess that's the main things. So yeah.
Thank you so much. And next, Vice President Bongi.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. So a couple things on my end. Some things I've been working on. It's the same with President Jackson. I've been at multiple meetings. Oh my goodness. I did a podcast with SLCD, which I was on. It's uploaded. I don't know if you heard it. If you did, please ignore the fact that I sounded like a robot. It was so bad. But it was on talking about professionalism, and it's a lot of implications, especially towards BIPOC community and how professionalism is racist and all that. And I'm working on a lot of other initiatives as well. I'm still currently working on creating an ASU internship for the next year to be up and running. I'm also have created or working with Central High School. I've met with actually Julia from Central High School, who has been a great resource, and we've actually come up with a lot of great things. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to the enrollment meeting today because of my other job in the morning. But since Dr. Kenton's here, I do want to kind of update him on some things. We are looking at doing more than potentially a college fair now, which is a great thing. We're looking at a couple of things which will be involving other departments potentially, and I'm hoping that this is something I could leave behind for the next administration to work with different departments, such as more connection with Central High School and our students here at Western. So maybe working with the tutoring department of creating getting more tutors maybe at Central, potentially working with new student and family programs to see if there's a possibility of doing a kind of how would I say? I know it's as similar as the Willamette Promise, which is we providing college credit for high school students. Maybe potentially we'll do something like that for college readiness. So I'll be reaching out to Megan Haberman about that. Looking at a lot of after school initiative in general that will focus on creating a stronger bond between Western and Central High School, since that's our closest local high school near us. And so maybe this is potentially something for a lot of the recruitment and retention that we have been lacking on at Western. And this is a great way to start locally and hoping to expand to Dallas, Salem, Kaiser, and all that. So some great things are coming forth. If you have any questions about that, I can answer as much as I can. But right now, this is some of the great things that me and Julia have talked over there, and some great conversations were happening. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And next, again, I will be reading the update for Judicial Administrator Young. So they met with a few club members this week that are looking to charter new clubs. And the clubs are Popular Music Club, Creative Writing Club, Thespian Club, and Restorative Justice Club. And they are working on the rechartering mass email that went out on Monday, or they the rechartering mass email went out on Monday. The RHA representative has been selected for the elections committee. The 4 appointments for the election committee will be submitted to Senate approval. And they also need 1 senator for the appeals committee. And if there are any senators interested in being one of the 3 remaining appointments, I would be happy to talk to them about what that would entail. The Judicial Board met this week regarding ASWU violations of Oregon Public Meeting Law, and further discussion and decision will be released by tomorrow night. Thank you all for your hard work, and I hope to see you all at the next Senate meeting. So I got that. And I also wanted to make sure, Judicial Inspector Young, if you can speak at all, if you have any other updates, I hope I covered everything. And that leaves me. And I will also pull up again the, oh, I hope this is the right one. Yeah, just for the visual. So for at least my update, I attended the TFAC presentation. TFAC is the Tuition Fee Advisory Committee, and then I attended the follow-up meeting. And I met with Joseph from OSA, I met from Evelyn from OSA, I met with Rick from OSA. I attended the OSOC meetings, and that is something I have been waiting for since I became Senate President, because it is the Oregon Students of Color Coalition, and we do really good work there. And so it's been really excited to be on that committee. I attended the J Board meeting. I met with President Kenton and the Freedom Center, and I met with the IFC chair, Dennis Long, the SVB core team, which is the Student Voice Bill, which we will discuss later in this meeting. I testified at the state capitol Tuesday, I believe. Wait, what is today? I don't know, one of those days, like I said. And I was able to testify on the importance of representation within the Board of Trustees, and to really ensure that we do have people at that level that are representing the student body, and specifically communities of color and underserved and marginalized communities. So it was a really great opportunity, very nerve-wracking, it always is. I've been doing this for 2 years, and every time it's still nerve-wracking, because they make really important decisions. I attended the IFC open hearings yesterday, and then some more meetings for OSOC. And so, yes, it was really, really busy, but some really great work. And the branch heads had a meeting today, yes, I believe that's all of the updates that I have at this time. As Judicial Inspector Young update mentioned, they will be releasing the decisions, I believe, by tomorrow. We'll just go with sometime by tomorrow, so I don't have to go through the chat again to make sure. But I will make sure to get those decisions to you all. And if you have any questions, so definitely reach out to Judicial Inspector Young. And yeah, I don't know if I can talk about the decision. I'm not sure yet until it's official, but when that does come out, if you have any questions, reach out. So I will share the agenda again today. Well, of course today, because I can't. I need to go to bed, y'all. I need to rest. Okay, wonderful. So next on the agenda is the proposal by President Kenton, in addition to the discussion. So let me stop sharing, and the floor is yours, Dr. Kenton.
Thank you very much, Senate President Bretz, and welcome, senators. I'm going to be really brief, largely because I have another meeting I've got to run to, but we've discussed this a lot, I think. I put in writing my proposal. You know, my biggest concern is that we've got the Freedom Center had a program, and they're in the middle of offering a lot of that program. We also, I think it's on your agenda later tonight to talk about the Executive Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion candidates that are coming to campus. The first group, I think, will be here next week. And we were planning to do some of those interviews in the Freedom Center. But anyway, I put my proposal in writing. We've talked a lot about it. I know you have a very busy agenda, so I'm gonna stop there. I mean, I think you shared my email, correct? And I think it lays out, my proposal is if we could just do this transition at the end of the quarter, I think it would be better in some ways, but I mean, that's kind of up to you to decide if you're willing to do that. I do believe, that the Freedom Center going forward will need some funding. I mean, it depends on exactly the types of things you want the Freedom Center to do, I suppose, but people have been paid in the past. I don't know how you want to do that going forward, and there's been refreshments and other things that are offered to people that drop by. So I'm going to stop there and just answer questions because I know your time is limited and we've talked a lot about this before.
I apologize. So I realized by sharing the screen, it doesn't show the entire email. So I did email it to you all. If not, please let me know. I can get that to you again. I know how quickly emails pile up, so please let me know and I can get that to you so you have it right there. So yes, at this time, the discussion that I wanted to have is essentially we have two pathways that I want us to discuss. And I want to ensure that we will put it up to a vote and we will proceed from that. So what we are looking at right now is that either we go with Dr. Kenton's proposal, which is to allow the Freedom Center to remain in that space until the end of winter term, or we proceed with our original vote, which was to have an entire removal process. The removal letters were supposed to go out on Wednesday, but we paused that removal process until President Kenton was able to attend the Senate meeting today. So I want us to be able to have that discussion, weigh the pros and cons, and move forward with the vote, if that is okay with you all. Okay. So senators, please, if you can, discuss amongst yourselves to express your opinions, your thoughts, your perspectives. And after we have had a decent enough discussion and had every single voice heard, then we will proceed with the vote. I'll start calling on people. So I'll start with Anne.
Okay, I think personally, I've gotten to a point where I feel like the question should be, do we want to be held in, I guess, also breaking our in violation from breaking our, essentially because the Freedom Center is in violation and we're not taking accountability into that, that means Senate will also be in violation. So I don't want us to be. And I feel like we've given them several warnings over the past 2 months to fix our violations and they haven't. So I think I'm going with we carry out our vote, or I guess we create, I don't know. Well, I think we should go with our vote.
Okay, so for the record, Anne is stating that we should move forward with our previous vote, which was to carry out an entire removal that will go into effect immediately. So I will take note of that and keep track here. And next, Geraldine.
So I personally, at first, also just wanted to do the removal, but seeing as long as this is taken for us to get done, and as President Kenton was saying, I mean, at this point they have a whole thing going on, especially for Black History Month, and I think it'd be distasteful to really disrupt that right now. Not because I understand that they are violating, but they are also not the only ones that helped put those events together. I know other people who work in other things, including ASWU, who helped put those events together, and I think it'd be best to let those events run out. We'll be near the end of the term, and then we can make it a smoother transition where really we can just do it smoothly. No one really is disrupted by it because everyone will be off campus, hopefully for a little bit for break. And then that way both parties can hopefully just get through this and we can stop talking about it so much and having to fight about it.
I believe Marian was next. Sorry, Marian, did you want to go next? Okay, that's okay. We'll come back to Marian. I believe Blanca had put, Blanca has a point of information.
Well, I have a question. Is that point of information?
Point of clarification, but now I know what you mean.
Okay, point of clarification. Yeah, so I hear everyone talking about a program that Freedom Center has going on, but is that like the For the Culture program that you're all talking about that happened on Tuesday? Or what program are we discussing? Because from what I know, I don't know about any other programs that are being done. So what are we disrupting?
Yeah, I don't, excuse me, if I may, Madam President. I don't know exactly what they have planned. I mean, Black History Month, we have a closing kind of ceremony, I think tomorrow or Saturday night, pardon me, Saturday afternoon. I think the Freedom Center is somewhat involved in that. They have displays up around the Union or the Werner University Center. I want to call it Student Union, I'm sorry. And, you know, I think she has other things going on. I don't know the details. I don't really supervise it. I mean, we approve their timesheets, they do the work, but you'd have to get a full list from Michaela. And I don't think she's available right now.
As the Senate President, I cannot answer that question as I am not aware of what events will be taking place. So I apologize for not being able to provide that information. Okay, and Marian is back. So Marian, if you would like to go, the floor is yours.
Hi, sorry about that. I had an emergency. I think that we should, like what Anne said, I think we should carry out with our previous vote that we had, because honestly, I feel like we already did give them a lot of chances, and giving them like this time to like continue out to the term would like, I don't know if they're going to violate more violations, and I just don't want to take that risk.
All right, thank you. And next I will move on to Dom.
I'm kind of conflicted because I agree with Anne and Giraldi. Like as we've like kind of clarified, I'm not sure what other events we would be interrupting if we did do an immediate removal, but I think at this point I agree with Anne, we have given warnings, we have tried to sort this out smoothly, but it has just gotten so extremely messy and toxic that I think an immediate removal would be the best decision, because considering
Sorry, Dom, I can no longer hear you. I don't know if that's just me. I still can't hear you. What I would recommend is rejoining. Sometimes that fixes the problem. But I have at the moment your vote down.
did you guys hear everything I said? I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi cut out.
Now you're back. Now you're back.
Okay, I was as I was saying, considering the environment of the last meeting, I do think that an immediate removal would be the best option, because I don't think we could try to make this go any smoother than we already have. Considering we've all tried to do this in the most professional and respectful way that we can, but it has just not gone that way. So I do agree with Anne. I feel like a removal would be the best thing to do.
Okay, your vote has been noted. And Anne had a point of clarification in the chat.
Sorry. Going back to the events, I'm looking at the President's website for the Freedom Center, and I don't see any upcoming events. Yeah, so I'm not sure what that looks like.
Thank you for that. And next I'll move on to Cesar.
Yeah, before I do like say my piece, I did have one question. And I know that we were talking a little bit about the budget. And if I'm not mistaken, President Keane, did you mention that we were trying to find a solution for the budget, for the funding to continue until 2023? Is that correct?
Yeah, what my proposal was that we would make a budget available for the rest of this year and all of next year. I'd put that in writing because I will be leaving by roughly June 30th. And there wouldn't be any question about it. But without that, I mean, you know, when you have a budget, it's an E&G budget too, by the way. It's not a student fee budget. It's part of the university's budget. There will need to be somebody who is accountable for that budget because it's state funds, if you will. And you know, the amount of the budget, I think what I was going to suggest, and I should have said this in my opening remarks, I'm sorry about that, but was that you appoint somebody if you choose to go down that path, and that's your choice, that we would sit together and come up with a reasonable amount. And I would fund it through next year with the understanding, and I did a similar thing, by the way, just this morning with the Stitch Closet, who asked me for some help to keep their doors open and things. I said, look, I'll give you money through next year with the understanding that we try to find a more sustainable source of funding going forward, be it IFC funding. I'm hoping our enrollment will rebound next year and there'll be more robust collections of IFC dollars, or grant funding or other things. I mean, it's possible the new president would continue it. I don't want to speak for that person who I don't know, you know, I don't know who they are right now, but I would get you through next June 30th, and hopefully, you know, in that amount of time, you would be able to figure out a sustainable ongoing funding source.
One has a point of clarification, and I will add something again before Cesar has the floor again.
Yeah, so my question is for President Kenton. So the money that you're talking about for the E&G budget that you're proposing and that you would promise essentially, is that only if we allow the Freedom Center board members continue for the rest of the term, or what's like the contingency? I don't know what's the word right now. It's not coming to my head.
Well, there isn't really a budget. I mean, the former president took some carry forward dollars and made it available. And I think he worked with a student group, although I don't know who the student members of that group were, but and it's not identified, it's not a line item budget, but we would work that out if we choose to go down this path. Otherwise, I think you're pretty much on your own.
I think as a point of clarification, Cesar, as well. So basically what we'd be looking at is that if we do not choose to go down the path of allowing them to stay in that space, then we will not get that money. If we choose to move forward with an immediate removal, then we will have the entire 11 board members make that decision of whether or not they will stay under ASU jurisdiction, which will most likely leave them being funded by IFC, or they will have to decide to go to a different department where they will be able to receive more stable funding and sustainable funding for the longevity of the center. Does that clarify your question?
You know, I
Yeah.
haven't thought, pardon
Go
me.
ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead, Cesar.
No, I was just saying that, yeah, I understand. You have the floor.
So I haven't thought a lot about that alternative and what it looks like. I think it would be incumbent on you getting a board in place, and the board, I mean, we need a decision-making body or a person. I mean, typically, you know, budgets have accountability, and there needs to be a person that would be held accountable for the expending, on that budget. And I don't know who that person would be. It's hard to hold a committee or a board responsible. It needs to be kind of narrowed down to a person. And I suppose if your board met quickly and appointed somebody as the director or whatever title, the leader of the center, then we could work with that person and figure that out. But I think it's incumbent on getting a board together. In fact, as I tried to say the last time we met, not with the bigger group, but with the smaller group on Monday or Tuesday, whatever day that was. I really think a lot of the problems that we're having now is that we didn't have a functioning board in place. And part of that's my fault for not knowing about your legislation until January when Carl brought it to my attention. But I think, there needs to be a group or a person that, would really be charged with that responsibility and accountability.
And thank you. And for the record, Shar entered the room at 5:47 p.m. Shar, as a quick introduction, Shar, if you want to introduce yourself as well, just say your name, pronouns, position, and how are you. And right now we are discussing the Freedom Center.
Hi, I'm Shar. My pronouns are she or hers. I'm a senator here. I'm doing fine so far. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. I apologize. Seth, would you like to vote real quick, or would you like to hear some more discussion before you make your decision?
Carl can go. He can go.
Okay, Carl, the floor is yours.
I accidentally pressed camera instead of mic, but okay. My vote, I would stick with our original decision and just carry out the removal letters, because honestly, what I'm thinking right now is that future funding can be an issue in the future, but it shouldn't be a deciding factor on why we should turn a blind eye on holding people accountable, because this violation has been going on for the whole winter term, or almost the whole term. And what the Senate finally decided, enough is enough, you should be held accountable. But we're still here. We're still here thinking, should we hold them accountable or not? Because the Senate is given a very difficult choice of deciding whether we want money or whether we don't. So to me, with all the respect, I feel really disrespected right now that it has come to the decision of whether the Senate wants money or not. Because like you said, President Kenton, you said that you did not know the legislation that we had, but the Freedom Center board has a copy of the legislation. Former co-director Makana Ripley has a copy of the legislation. And I'm sure that their advisor has a copy of their legislation, and that legislation is somewhere in their office. So with that in mind, Michaela shouldn't have agreed to be a co-director without going through the right process. And the rest of the Freedom Center board members shouldn't have agreed to be a part of the board without going through the correct process. So I'm going to stand by with the Senate's decision to send out the removal letters.
Thank you.
So, Madam President, I need to run. I'm sorry. I don't know if there's any other questions, but I think you can, complete your vote and things, but I've got people waiting for me. And these are people that I invited to dinner to work through some other issues I'm having. So I apologize, but I think the essence of my proposal, and you can, do as you need to do.
Well, thank you so much for your time and capacity to be here tonight, and I hope you have a great dinner.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And the floor is back to you, Cesar.
Thank you. I think so. My whole thought process is they should be held accountable. We have been struggling with this for a long time now. We talked about how like there's no more events coming up. However, I do think that in order to not, my biggest concern is with the immediate removal process is like throwing everything off with our schedules and with like just because we have finals and everything going on. So I'm just worried that like if we get them out of there, like either we will have to be in the office for the remaining of the term until we find that replacement, or we will have to shut down the office. So although they have made a mistake, and then we know that they made a mistake and we want them out of there as soon as possible, I think that waiting until the end of the term, so that gives us enough time to plan, thinking about people who could fill in those spots, thinking about how we're going to take on those, what we're going to do with the Freedom Center. I think just waiting until the end of the term, so that way we have enough time to, you know, kind of get everything that we need to do in order for this to not happen again, if that makes sense. So sort of like planning everything out after the terms ends, and then we can get those replacements and make sure stuff like this doesn't happen again, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you so much for that. So again, I kind of right now what I'll do is I'll just put down like your preliminary decisions, and I'll go through once again in case you do change your mind for anybody that changes their mind. So let me do that, but then also I believe I saw Blanca had a point of clarification.
Yeah, so, well, I guess my point of information first, because I had two, point of information and point of clarification. So my point of information is, I don't know if y'all are aware, but the Freedom Center is closed right now and will not be opening, I think, till next week. So, I mean, like, how big of an impact would that be making if they already closed it for this rest of the week? And then my point of clarification, okay, say the Senate votes on leaving them until the rest of the term, then when do we start working on getting a new board? Like, where are we wasting our, like, okay, are we wasting our time is what I'm trying to get at. Like, we're gonna wait 2 weeks and then have to start in the summer, like, or not in the summer, sorry, in the spring and spring break. Like, we have plans and like, we obviously want to take a break. So are we not going to start until the start of spring term? Like, that's going to put us behind, or what's the process, I guess?
Yes, thank you for that question. I mean, quite frankly, I'm about 3 weeks behind my original timeline, and I'm just going to be transparent with that. I was ready to go, you know. So I've had to everything has been shifted to mirror the Senate's decision, but as well as respecting Dr. Kenton's, I guess, capacity in his thoughts on what has been taking place. I did that, and then everything kind of unfolded, and I've had to kind of push back the timeline, but also re-examine how I'm going to do this. So my intention is, based on whatever decision we have today, that is what will determine what I do next. And for the record, at 5:55, Arlette Tapia entered the room. So based on this decision, essentially, this is what I'm going to do. Regardless of how the decision goes, I'm going to move forward with the application going to be sent out, so that I have at least 2 weeks for students at large to have the opportunity to apply. Then after that, it depends. I mean, unfortunately, it may go into spring break at that time. But again, like you said, it's a time for a break. So I'll probably have to conduct interviews within the first week of spring term and have a full board present by the second week of spring term. And that's not terrible, but that's not, I don't think that was our intention. It was to have an entire board sooner than that. So I hope that kind of clarifies some things. I'm still trying my best, just based on what our decisions are and taking into account all of the events that have unfolded. So yeah, so that's kind of my plan, but it really just depends on where we go from today. I'm sorry, Chelsea, did you still have something to say?
I was just going to offer that same suggestion, that if the path that's decided is to leave the center, the people in place for the rest of winter term, that you could still move forward with your other processes and post the positions, advertisement, make sure you've got, your interview schedule, come up with your questions. You can still have all those pieces running at the same time. So you can be prepared and ready to go, that they can all kind of happen at the same time. It will probably, like what you said, Elizabeth, will probably put you into the start of spring term.
Yes, I think I will have Deshawn go and then Anne can go next.
Okay, so I've been kind of going back and forth, but I'm pretty certain at this point because it makes, so when we're talking about this as a space, we're acting as if these spaces don't close every day. Like I walk by Triangle Alliance downstairs and their doors closed because they don't have those hours. So I don't see why we're acting like this doors need to be open 24/7. We can have adjusted hours for the remainder of winter term. So we can be in there when we can, because to my knowledge, when we were talking about it before, we were having the support of ASWU, and there were potentially some people on the judicial board that would step in, and we could fill the space and shift it out enough to where it doesn't need to be open all the time, but we can continue to do these processes before, because at this point we've gone through a lot with them. And so at this point, we can just get that removal process going and then start getting people in the doors. And then now we have the space to ourselves, and then we can bring people like our interviews into the space when we're doing these sort of things. So it just kind of makes sense to me to basically close them, remove them, and take over and just have hours like a normal center.
Thank you so much, and I have noted your preliminary decision. And Fela, you have the floor.
Now that I've heard these like different points of views, can I change my vote or should I wait till the end? Like, is there other people that are
Yeah, you can change your vote.
okay? Then I'd like to change my vote.
Okay, wonderful. It has been noted. And next on my list is I'll choose Mary. Oh.
Point of clarification, what is your vote change so I know for the notes?
Yeah, just immediate removal of the Freedom Board.
Thank you.
And Anne. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Anne, I meant to come back to you. My apologies.
You're good. As we were discussing, something popped in my mind, but I think one issue that we do need to consider is, do we want to be in another violation with JA? And because we're already, from like yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, we already are in violation for one thing. But I guess like the essential question is, do we want to be in another violation and possibly face harsher, and I say harsher lightly, consequences from JA, or do we just want to carry out our vote as we decided a couple weeks ago?
For clarification, because not all the senators were able to make it to the J board meeting yesterday, and I completely understand. Again, the official decision should go out tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. But I will let everybody know. Members that are occupying the Freedom Center space brought a hearing request primarily against me. A lot of the Senate wasn't really like mentioned, but it was primarily towards me. I can share, of course, the items with the Senate, and I think I I probably should. But they have accused me of a plethora of things. But yesterday, the J board found me, and not me, but the Senate in violation of not meeting 3 times in January. So the reason behind that is, well, we came back from winter break in January. So the first week I let you all get back to your routine. And then the second week we met, and then the third week I had the honor of speaking alongside the NAACP president of the Salem Kaiser chapter. It was an absolute honor, but it did conflict with our Senate meeting. So I had to reschedule the Senate meeting, but unfortunately I could not meet quorum. So therefore that's why we did not have a meeting. But due to that, the Senate was found in violation of not being able to meet 3 times. So I apologize for that. We've been placed on probation for the remaining of the year. Deshaun.
Sorry, I just kept missing the unmute button. So when we were talking about we would be in more violation if we did take over the space and kick them out and all that stuff. I don't think that we would be, because we, hold on, let me check the date of the email real quick. Back on February 18th, you sent out a Freedom Center notice of removal, and it says in here that the Senate would occupy the space. So, and we all signed off on it. And so it says as of February 23rd. So at this point, that was yesterday. And so since we all signed off on it and that was an official document, would that mean that we wouldn't be in any more violations if we kicked them out and overtook the space?
Sorry, Anne, did you have something else to say, or do you want me to go?
Sorry. I guess what I was saying was we would be in violation if we kept the center open, not in the sense of we close the center, then we'd be in violation. Sorry for the confusion.
Okay, so yeah. So sorry. What Anne was saying was that if we kept them in that space, technically we would be in violation due to the Freedom Center and being in violation. So, which therefore we're tethered to that. So we would then also be in violation, is what I think Anne was trying to say. So thank you for that comment. And I hope that that clarifies. Again, the official decision should go out tomorrow, so I can get that information to you. There was something else I was going to say, but I forgot. So the J board will convene next week, and there are 2 other violations that are going to be heard, but I believe those are more directed towards ASWU. That's what the J board decided, was to find ASWU also in violations regarding Oregon public meeting law. And I think I quickly just want to state for the record, regardless of what decision happens, I want every person to know, especially a part of ASWU, that I understand how hard we work and that we do make mistakes, and that's okay. But the decision does not reflect on your work and the capacity that you bring to this organization. And so I understand that sometimes it can be difficult to be in those meetings and have all of these things said, and then for us to be found in violation, etc. It's difficult, but we all are not perfect. And I think as long as you stand by that you did your best and you tried your best, that's all that matters. And that's kind of what I've had to view in this, is that I took a really amazing opportunity, and I stand by being able to represent my identity and serve alongside a very honorable person to the Black community. And so, yeah, I just wanted to kind of point that out, that regardless of what happens, I know how hard you all work, and I respect that. And we're all students first, always. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. I believe I said Mary would go next. So Mary, the floor is yours.
I would say my vote would be immediate removal of the Freedom Center. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let me take a look real quick. Let's see how many I have. Okay, I have one last person. Star.
I will stand my ground and I will vote to removing them immediately as well.
Okay, wonderful. If I did not, Senator, wait. Blanca, the floor is yours.
Well, I wasn't at the last voting because I wasn't a senator yet. But based off everyone's input and what you have all described and talked about, then I think I'm gonna go with the full removal as well.
Point of clarification, for those, I did message it in the chat, but for the record, Blanca Jimenez was a written-in candidate in spring 2021. They were inaugurated already back in spring 2021, which is why they were able to become a immediate senator. So yeah, that process took place, and I believe, if correct me if I'm wrong, but Deshawn, were you also a written-in candidate? I can't remember. I think you were. But anyways, it really doesn't matter. That it feels like ages ago. So yes. Okay. And senators, please raise your hand if I didn't call on you. And you didn't cast in your vote. Oh, Deshawn.
I just wanted to add another point that I just thought of. If we are doing shifts, so if we're thinking about it the way that I was speaking about it, and we are taking over, while we are in the space, we could be having those conversations about the funding, about we can start using that time to begin to build it, because now we are in the space, we're constantly thinking about the space because we're interacting with it. So I feel like it would also provide a good basis for conversation.
Yeah, awesome, amazing. And I'm gonna create either a folder or a drive that you all will have that will include every possible thing that you could think of. And I'll most likely do some sort of like quick training, or I'll do a pre-recorded video so that you all are very well equipped to take that space and provide resources and services to students. And of course, I will be there to the best capacity that I can be. So yeah, that's what I will do, but also it'll be good for interviews and stuff like that, like Deshawn had mentioned, or somebody, again, my memory. And Vice President Fonte.
Yeah, point of question or clarification. I know we're talking about funding. What in what context are we talking about in regards? Are we talking about this year's funding, or are we talking about next year's funding? Just so that I know what we're discussing about in regards.
I believe, and any senators can correct me wrong, but for not only next year's funding, but I think for the sustainability of all funding for the Freedom Center. I think that's the difficulty of it being just a grant, is that we only had 2 years of this funding, and now we have to, I guess, proceed with figuring out how will they get funding past this academic school year. And I think that's what we're going to be working on for sure.
Okay. And then that's all.
Okay, perfect. And also, give me one moment. I'm trying to think. So I want to post the agenda in the chat so everybody can access it on their own. Let me create a Google Doc, because I have it on Word, but then that way you can just, once you get the link, so just give me a moment. So while I do that though, I have everybody's decision written down at this point, but I'm going to go through one more time with each senator, and you will, well, actually this way we'll do an official vote. So I will make a motion in just a moment. Actually, I don't think I can technically make a motion, but I will request if for one to be made in a moment. Okay, paste. Sorry, I have like a PDF of it, but I don't know if y'all can access that. So I'm just doing it on a Google Drive, Google Doc. So hopefully everybody can access. And yeah, there you go. Let me know if y'all can access that real quick, just so I can make sure.
I'm not sure if I'm the only one, but it popped up as you need access.
Not this again. Okay, let me fix that setting. Does anybody know how to usually do that? Isn't that like a thing where you can like, oh wait, I think I found it, y'all. Make it not restricted. That would be a good thing. No. Okay, hopefully now it works. Let me know. Does everybody have it? Is that good? Okay, good. I see everybody's emojis popping up. So not emojis, profile pictures. Awesome. Okay, wonderful. So I'm trying to think about the wording of this, so just give me a moment. Would a senator like to, yeah, I think we'll just do it this way so it's easier for the minutes. Would a senator like to make a motion to carry out the original vote of the Senate to proceed with a immediate removal of members occupying the Freedom Center? And I'll put that language for the senator who makes that motion. And just a reminder, we do not need seconded, whatever that plural would be for motions. Carl.
I make a motion to move forward with the immediate removal of the individuals occupying the Freedom Center.
Okay, and a motion has been made, and so we move into a roll call vote. Anne?
Aye.
Carl?
Aye.
Geraldine?
Aye.
Dom?
Aye.
Heather?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Deshawn?
Aye.
Marion?
Aye.
Char?
Aye.
All right, motion passes 9-0-0. Is that right? Can somebody, Carl, can you double check that for me, please, what I counted right? Blanca?
Hi. You keep forgetting me.
It's true. Motion passes 10-0-0, but let me think. I don't know. For the record, or if anybody can answer this question, do I have to go back and restart that motion since I forgot someone and it passed already? Yes, you are loved, Blanca. I am sorry.
You could, just to make it extra official.
Sounds good. I'll do that again. Okay. I apologize, everybody. That is my bad. Blanca, I will never forget you again because this has been very traumatic. Would the senator like to make a motion to move forward with the immediate removal of individuals occupying the Freedom Center? Carl,
It's me again, but I make a motion to move forward with the immediate removal of the individuals occupying the Freedom Center.
Blanca,
Aye.
Marian,
Aye.
Deshaun,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Cesar,
Aye.
Dom,
Aye.
Giraldi,
Aye.
Carl,
Aye.
Anne,
Aye.
Char.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 10-0-0. I was kind of on my fingers. Okay. The motion has passed and I will proceed with the immediate removal of individuals occupying the Freedom Center. And my question to you all now then is, when would you like the letters to go out? Well, tomorrow's Friday.
I think tomorrow would be appropriate, and then kind of like starting the week off with someone else and seeing like the center is even closed tomorrow, so I think that's perfect timing.
Okay. Would anybody, I suppose, since it is closed tomorrow, I don't know if we are able to, but would you all like to start occupying the space tomorrow, or would you like to just start Monday?
Monday would be good.
Okay. Carl?
I just wanted to ask if we are allowed to go there since it's closed.
That's a really good question. Well, we typically would have a, well, I guess you actually should have a key. Do you have a key, Carl?
I have a key. Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess, I don't know. I really don't know.
I believe since it's in the University Center in Chelsea, I believe that there should be a spare key within student information desk, right?
There's not, that space was never set up to have like key authorization access. When they set up keys, I think when I signed key forms, those were like for folks that were in there in fall term, and then keys got issued to people that I wasn't aware of after that, if I remember right. I could be wrong, so don't swear me to it.
Totally.
Yeah.
But there is no checkout key at the information desk. I can tell you that because I checked on that earlier today.
Okay, so I guess, so here's like a really good question then. Okay, do like the hand emojis. Which senators would like to occupy the space tomorrow? Okay, and which senators would like to occupy the space starting Monday? Oh, sure, okay. Okay, so here we have some senators who did vote and some who did not. Shar, you're confusing me with your emojis. I don't know what you were trying to say.
Wait,
Okay.
I actually have work. I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's okay. So, okay, so Carl has a question.
I do not have a question. That was to answer your question.
Oh,
if you want
okay.
to Monday.
So your vote is on Monday, right? Okay, I think it was a Monday. Okay, so I do have senators who want to be there tomorrow. The whole majority thing isn't really applicable. So for those that do want to be there tomorrow, I can be there with you. Yeah, I think that's the best that we can do. I want to respect everybody's decision. So yeah. Okay. And all the senators who didn't vote, I'm gonna do this again. Okay, yeah, so good question. What time? That really depends. I was thinking more like 10 or 11 to get there, I suppose, to open it. But it really just depends on who can be there and what time works best for them, and we can do that. But again, like Deshaun said, that like, it's not going to be open 24 hours, just, the best to our capacity. So, okay, perfect. So I do have Mary and Deshawn down to be there tomorrow. Would anybody else like to be there? Raise your little hand emoji. Y'all said no. Okay, that's fine. I will just have three of us there then. And if you want to stop by, that'll probably make us really happy. Well, we have made our final decision. This is pretty monumental, if I do have to say. So thank you all for your time, and yes, thank you all for your time, your capacity, and your ability to, oh no, stop, hold the phone, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to have my whole partner tell me that I made a mistake with my schedule. So I actually have the opportunity to be at a conference tomorrow with a really amazing author that met Oprah. And so I'll be busy from 9 to 3, but then I do have time from 3 to 5. I think. Let me check my calendar. I have that same from 5 to 30, I see. But then again, I don't have to be there. But I don't know if y'all feel more comfortable with me being there. Oh, Mary, anyways. That's true. That's true. Okay. So do you all feel comfortable being there without me then? I'll still be on campus, so I can come. Okay. Sorry, Vice President Fondi, you had a question.
I know you do have the removal letters prepped and ready. I would still make a statement in regards of like transition of keys. I think that's another thing. So then they know that this is happening. So then, because my only concern with this is then tomorrow, I don't think I would advise the Senate and Senate President Bratz that tomorrow I don't think it'll be the right time. Maybe that'll be the time for the transition. Maybe Monday will be the best day to start with the with it moving forward. I think right now with the office already being closed off for this week, I think that'll be the proper time for key transitions or anything like that needs to happen over the weekend. So then that can go and move forward. Yeah.
Okay. How does that sound then to the senators? I know, okay, looks good, works better. Monday works better for everybody. So I will ask you now, but I'll send that out later tonight to figure out a when is good to see everybody's schedule and capacity to be able to, I'll just do it like by a week, Monday through Friday, fill out your availability on those days and times, and then I'll start sending out calendar invites for you all to accept so that you know when to be there, what day, what time, etc. And then I'll do a pre-recorded video this weekend about the different resources and services that you need to know. I have been literally a part of Plus Team, Destination Western, Ambassadors, etc. Although I did quit Ambassadors just in time. Don't quote me on that. But I was taught about everything that you need to know. So all that we can do is provide our best possible stop, don't expose me like that. I needed to go for my mental health, thanks. So anyways, so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That's our process moving forward. I will also work on applications to be sent out starting on Monday, and hopefully we'll be good to go. This is huge, and I want you all to be able to acknowledge that. This has been a really long process, and I do apologize for any type of I guess personal impact it had on you. And please just know that I am always here to talk through things. Yeah, I guess in that sense, yeah, I'm here. And Vice President Fondi.
I do want to kind of mention something that we've discussed as executive branch heads, President Jackson, Senate President Bratz, Judicial Administrator Young, and I. We've met this morning to discuss of where the Freedom Center will be in the future. That's something that we are discussing in a sense of budgeting and funding, so that we are going to be presenting two options to Dr. Kenton in regards of where the Freedom Center will be in the later years. Option one is if they do decide the Freedom Center, which again, with the decision you've all made and when we get the board ready, if they do want to stick under ASWU's jurisdiction, that they will still have to be under our constitution and bylaws until they create their constitution and bylaws. And then option two would be for them to find a different department to be under, figure out the budgeting and fundings for them to be successful and the longevity of it. Just to give you all senators a timeline on when we're going to be meeting with Dr. Kenton on that, that will be somewhat next week. All four of us will be there at that meeting to discuss of that. And we will definitely keep you all updated, as that is something very important to discuss the longevity of. So.
Yes, thank you for that. And if President Jackson wants to speak on that, but if not as well, thank you from the exec branch for that. I think additionally, would you all like for me to write a statement to the student body regarding our decision? I can kind of go two routes in regards to like really like writing one statement that's catered to like the Senate, or sorry, the student body. To the student body, or and I can also do a separate statement that could be, I guess, sent out to the different branches of ASWU to be shared amongst their branches, you know, whatever it may be. I just want to make sure that we do at least have something out there that kind of documents our decision and why we did that. Yeah, so, but again, you don't have to make that decision yet. That can also be something that we figure out at a later time. Baby steps. Okay, are there any more questions, comments, concerns? Oh, Cesar?
Yeah, something I'm pretty sure that they have like a position in the Freedom Center that's all about like posting on social media. I think it would be good to get their information, like their logins and stuff for the Freedom Center, as well as like the keys. So just put it out there.
Absolutely. I think I'll work with Kelsey on that for sure. I think that's kind of, again, a difficult process since we weren't like really in that communication regarding the additional positions. I'm not sure everything, like the information that we'll need, you know, et cetera, but that will be something that we work on next week. But plan to be in the Freedom Center on Monday, unless of course you can't be there, and that will be based on your schedule. But we will move on from here. And again, the capacity of serving in there will just be for the remainder of winter term. But it'll fly by, I promise. Yeah. Any more questions, comments, concerns? Let me pull up the agenda again.
Wait, clarifying question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, just double checking. So from my understanding, they're getting their removal letters tomorrow, and then like the transition happens over the weekend, and we take over Center on Monday, right? Well, take over isn't the word, but that's essentially what the timeline looks like, right?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, let me pull up the agenda and we'll move on to our next item. Whatever it is. Okay. Okay, so next we will be discussing two items of legislation that have been brought forth by Carl. And let me get this pulled up. Can you all see? And then for those who entered late, the reason why it's not on the agenda is we had to make an amendment to that to add to tonight's agenda. And let me scroll out so maybe I can have all of it fit on one page. Okay, here we go. So I have to get the format fixed because the lines stress me out with where our signature is supposed to go. So I'll figure that out later. But this right now is Carl's first piece of legislation that will be reading today. And with that, the floor is yours, Carl.
All right, thank you. So this legislation, Senate Bill 1.22, it's just to amend the legislation we passed last term, which was Senate Bill 1.21. And just to recap, Senate Bill 1.21 was the legislation that required senators and justices to work or to volunteer for VU school related activities for a minimum of 5 hours per term. So I decided to write this legislation with COVID being like on the top of my mind. So the beginning of the term, I tested positive for COVID, and it just like really drained me physically and mentally, and I didn't want anyone to be at risk of getting COVID, especially that the cases has been going like high. So this bill just amends that, and hopefully it will pause Senate Bill 1.21 and that it will resume next year.
Let me unmute. I apologize. I will pull up. Let's see. Was it Senate Bill 1.21? Okay, this is. I'm pulling up the legislation that was discussed at the beginning of. Yeah, here it is. So this is. I don't know why that's highlighted. But this is the legislation that we had last term. And so essentially what Carl is saying is that he's wanting to make an amendment, which means that this would not go into it. Essentially, it will go into effect the beginning of next academic year. This is just kind of putting it on a pause for right now in regards to people's comfortability to be in in-person events. Yes, let me scroll down. Are there any questions regarding this bill or the new bill, Senate Bill 1.22 that Carl has brought forth? Okay. All right, I need to go through and see everybody's. Okay. So also additionally, would anybody like to co-sponsor this bill? What this means, and just like raise your hand. What this means is part of Senate responsibilities are to either bring forth or co-sponsor. You either bring forth one Senate legislation, or you could co-sponsor two legislations. So just kind of a little shout out if you want to add your name here to co-sponsor. I can do that now. And so just like raise your little hand emoji if you want to co-sponsor this legislation. Are you doing? Sorry. Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
I
No, it's okay. It's okay. I just wanted to make sure because it didn't like bring you to the front, so I couldn't see. But thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna stall. Perfect. Okay, last chance. Because if you don't co-sponsor, then you have to bring forth a piece of legislation like Carl did. But if you co-sponsor it, then you're just co-sponsoring that legislation. So don't quote me, but it would make it easier if you don't want to bring forth legislation. Okay, going once, going twice, okay, yeah. Okay, and if you do change your mind and you do want to co-sponsor this legislation, just let me know in the chat. Okay, wonderful. And we also do have a second piece of legislation to review. And Carl, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. This was one of the legislations that I was excited for because of the number 222. But anyways, so given with what we're presented with as the Senate this term with the violations of the Freedom Center Board, I just wanted to reiterate and make them understand that the Freedom Center Board and as well as the Incidental Fees Committee, the IFC, they are subcommittees of the Senate. So any violations that they made, any violations that they make on any violations of the ASBU Constitution and any violations of the ASBU legislation will be subjected to a consequence. So in this legislation, in the sections part, you can see that I've listed what their timeline would be when they committed a violation. So if they committed a violation, they will be subjected to a verbal warning by our Senate President and the President of ASBU. Then if the violation occurred for more than 2 weeks, they are responsible to schedule a meeting. So it's going to be up to them. And it's going to be the responsibility to schedule a meeting with the ASBU Senate President. And if they just disregard their violation and they turn a blind eye to our Constitution, then they are subjected to an investigation and possible removal from their position.
Blanca?
Yeah, so my question is, how would it apply to like, well, I guess I'm looking at from like right now what the Freedom Center has done where they have other positions that are not Freedom Center board members. How would that apply like basically to them? Or like since we're going to rehire people, then maybe those positions wouldn't exist anymore. But in the case that they were to happen to re-exist, would that apply to them as well?
Technically, I think it should be applied to them since their position is not even in the governing documents. Does that answer your question?
That's a complex question only. Oh, I'm sorry. I understand like definitely like what you're getting at. I think like the sticky situation that we're in is that there were positions that were hired outside of our knowledge. And so I think that would definitely kind of be up to interpretation, I suppose. But I guess, and again, I want to reiterate, we have 3 readings. Hold on, is this a bill or a resolution? Okay, so we only have 2 readings. So what this means is that we could go back and kind of maybe like specify things or figure out some more things to add. That way it can maybe clarify some of those questions that you have. But I think that that's a good question. I think that there were just a lot of things that were not brought to our knowledge. So hopefully typically that wouldn't, I guess, apply to this legislation in the case that there weren't like positions that were hired outside of our knowledge. That's kind of confusing, so I hope that answers your question. But also since we have 2 more readings, it'll give you all an extra chance to co-sponsor if you want to. I was about to eat a tip. I apologize. So Blanca, did that answer your question or is there still some things I could clarify?
No, it did answer. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Are there any more questions, comments, concerns about this legislation? Okay, Perfect. So with this, again, there's 2 readings. So Senate bills have 3 readings, but for Senate resolutions, we have 2 readings. This will go to the J board. Both pieces of legislation will go to the J board. And with that, is there anybody that wants to co-sponsor the legislation? Okay. Oh, I can't keep up. Okay. Senator, yeah. Blanca, did you say yes?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. Anybody else? Oh, Geraldi said. Senator. Anybody else? Okay, that's okay. Well, we have another. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. It's okay. We still have an another reading. So if y'all change your mind, just let me know. Okay, perfect. So are there any other questions about Senate Resolution 2.22? Okay. Any questions on Senate Bill 1.22? Okay. Let's go back to the agenda. Okay, it's obviously not working for me. Okay, so next on the agenda is testimony review and the Oregon Students of Color Coalition. So as I said a little bit earlier, I was able to testify at the Capitol, not really at the Capitol virtually, but it's viewed live there and everything like that. And it's a really great opportunity. And so I think that this is a really imperative time that if you have the capacity to write testimonies or speak live on different legislative priorities at the state level, I think that if you can, it's really, really important because student voices are taken into account. I can't promise you that, but I think that they really do listen. And you know, it's recorded forever, so it's out there. And so you know, like I said, I was able to testify on the it's called University Governance, but it's the Board of Trustees. And I think I talked about it a little bit earlier, either in the term or back in fall term, but just kind of as an idea of the opportunities that can come from testifying is I was reached out by the Oregon Board of Education. I think I said that right. And they asked me to serve on a committee to implement I guess the initiative that had been discussed within that legislative priority that year. And so I think technically I'm still on that kind of like committee / board because it does take quite a while to carry out different implementations, especially statewide. But it was a really great opportunity, and it was just like somebody that had like reached out to me from the Oregon Board of Education. And you know, those opportunities do carry a lot of weight because those people remember you. It can help in your future careers, or it looks really good on your resume too. So that's another thing. And then the next thing that I wanted to talk quickly about, and I believe, so I don't think Joseph is here anymore. I can't, but they are in charge of OSOC, which is the Oregon Students of Color Coalition, and I'm a part of that. And we do have I'll have to look at the meetings again. But if you're interested in helping, Joseph's still here. Oh my God. Hi, Joseph. I am so sorry. As you can see, I was really squinting there. I see you now. If you want to talk a little bit about the Oregon Students of Color Coalition to the Senate, that would be really helpful, and talk about like our meetings and kind of what goes on there and the purpose of OSOC, if you want.
Sure. I run the Oregon Students of Color Coalition for OSA. We are in the process of building it with PSU, UO, LCC, and we actually now have a student from OSU on our coalition. I think what we're kind of trying to do is just build a space where we can have students of color from all the campuses come and kind of talk about what's going on their campus, kind of find some support from other students, see how other students are handling similar issues. We're also planning the conference, which we are planning on holding sometime in May. We have to coordinate and figure out like how many workshops we're going to have, who's going to present, and speakers. So if anyone's interested in, I know there's Anne here who is also part, and Arlette, who are part of the steering committee. But if anyone's interested in being part of the conference, you can let me or Elizabeth know. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Like I said at the beginning, this has definitely been something I've looked forward to for a really long time, since I became Senate President. And so please let me know if you are interested in being a part of that conference. So let me share my screen again. Hold on, of course this always happens. Oh no, just kidding. Okay. Okay. Perfect. And next on the agenda, so I wanted to get this out to you ASAP. So in regards to, okay, let's do that. There we go. So part of the requirements for the Senate is to attend Safe Zone training. I did not hear anything after sometime last year about Safe Zone. It's still been a process because Safe Zone, I think, had to kind of get back up and running to my knowledge. So yeah, I apologize, y'all. I did not realize that this was happening so quickly. I did not see a lot of publicizing of it. But this is what I did receive. So if you all have the capacity to go tomorrow from 10 to 11, you can attend the blue one regarding that. I don't know if exec wants to talk about this at all or where we are at with Safe Zone. But this is the email that I did receive. I think it went out to all students. Yeah. Well, I don't know if anybody from exec, I know Logan's here. Is Vice President Bongi still here? Okay. Oh, Carl is joining again. Okay. So yeah, I think we still have some things to discuss within ASU about Safe Zone. But if you can make it tomorrow, that would be awesome. I can get that link to you. Also, I know that not all students opt in for the all student email, so you may have not ever received that email. So yes, Chelsea.
I'm happy to reach out to Elizabeth, who is on that email, and see if there's any future trainings coming up, like maybe in March or April. I'm happy to do that if you want me to, on behalf of all of y'all. So
yeah, that would be amazing. Definitely just to like, yeah, thank you. It's been a little bit confusing because of COVID and everything. So yeah, and of course, and I know that some people have to head out because the meeting kind of ran a little bit over. Thank you all for being here. I think everything past this is about kind of just updates. So thank you all. Yeah, so I just wanted to get that all to you. But we'll get that figured out and I'll let you know ASAP. Okay, student voice bill, yes. So I know we discussed about it a little bit. I'm gonna put this in the chat. And this is so fill this out if you can and if you feel okay, and if you feel comfortable. I have been working on the student voice bill task force. And it's for us to just gather statistics and to be able to have those statistics to kind of show where students are at and to amplify student voices. We'll talk about it in a few moments about some, I don't know if it's representatives and senators or maybe just senators, one of the two. People from the Capitol will be coming to the to WU, but other state schools and colleges, and it will be a time for students to for them to listen to student voices. And we also do have Rick Williams here to discuss a little bit about that if they feel comfortable, but also know that they are taking notes at the same time, which can be a little bit difficult. But definitely just, take a look at that form and fill it out. Again, if you're comfortable, please do, so we can get that those statistics and to have your voice heard and recorded with that. But yeah, the form does close tomorrow. We've had a lot of responses, but if you can, after you fill out, if you can send it off to your friends, that would be amazing as well, so we can get as many voices as possible. And Rick.
Yeah, I can speak a little bit about the student voice bill. So in 2021, the Oregon legislature passed the Senate bills, the student voice bill. In a short little concise thing, it basically makes your legislators get out of their stuffy offices and come to your campus to actually come and be accessible to you to understand what the barriers are with college. With the student survey campaign, what we're doing at Western is letting students have an opportunity to kind of answer on their own time the questions that are surrounding the student voice bill about access to school, access to your basic needs, whether or not you're having a hard time with textbook or tuition affordability. And once we get these responses, what we're going to do is we're going to look through all of them to be able to say what Western students are facing as the largest barriers. What are the things that we can change the most? And to really give the legislators a more specific answer to what Western students need and are facing as barriers to their education. If you fill out the survey, one of the nice things is that you'll automatically be entered into a raffle to get a $25 gift card, either to Amazon or Starbucks. And yeah, from the data, we'll be able to really craft what Western needs.
Are there any questions regarding that? Oh. Perfect. Thank you so much. And let me pull up the agenda. All right, perfect. So next are just kind of some updates that I wanted to bring to your all attention. And they can be discussed, but they're more of just, again, updates from my end. Hold on just one second. I know, I believe it was in our last, maybe 2 meetings ago, it was brought to our attention that the Oregon mask mandate is going to be expiring, I believe, at the end of March. And so what that means is that it will be left up to, for example, school boards, but in our case, probably the Board of Trustees or members of the university to decide whether or not the mask mandate will be will still stay in place. I just wanted to bring this to your attention because I again like to be transparent that we still are in a pandemic. It is still very much going on and people are very much still getting sick. In the mask mandate being lifted, I suppose, I guess kind of takes away a level of protection and I guess, precaution for people. And so again, it's mainly going to definitely be left up to your own personal choices, which is completely fine. But I just wanted to to put that out there to see if at any point as it gets closer, does the Senate want to take a stance on I guess, the decision that the university makes, which we can definitely wait until it gets there to see what decision the university makes and go from there. But I just wanted to put that on your radar as well. And then again, kind of just like a discussion of the student voice bill that we just went over. And I will keep you all informed of when they are here, what times and days they will be here, and make sure that you all have your voices heard. And also the Executive Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion candidate interviews will be taking place. I reached out on behalf of the Senate to find whether or not I can ensure that you all have the opportunity to meet with the candidate. And there is going to be a date that students can meet with the candidates, and I will get those days and times to you all so that you all know where to go, what day, and when it is taking place, so that you can meet with the candidates one-on-one. Not really like one-on-one, it won't just be you and them, but like you as students and the candidate, so that you can ask them questions, hear their perspectives, and really get an idea of who you want to be. Well, we can try our best, but in regards to who the first Executive Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion will be, to be able to meet with them and just kind of get an idea of who will be on our campus. Just a quick reminder that finals are coming up. I don't know about y'all, but I forgot. And then also make sure that you register for your classes, because I know in the midst of being stressed and having meetings and classes, it can be easy to forget that. So just make sure to check when you can register. And with that, next on the agenda is messages from before. And this is a time for the public or whoever would like to say anything. This is your time and space. And so, yeah, are there any messages from the floor? Okay. And I also feel like I may have forgotten to do the advisor. I did. I missed the advisor update. So Chelsea, if you would like to have any updates at this time, the floor is yours.
Sure. Let's see. I have a couple of surveys out to students. And so when I get some data from all of that, I will share everything that I think that's, going to be relevant to y'all. I think the one data report's going to be like 50 pages. So I'm going to skim through it because that's a little overwhelming, even for me. So, but then the other one really talks about student perspectives about the University Center and how to make changes to make it more comfortable. And I think that that's valuable information for y'all to have as a Senate once that closes and I get that. So, and then, gosh, I think the only other thing was IFC, but Elizabeth, were you going to talk about that? Okay.
Yes, I did want to bring that to your all's attention. So like we discussed, I think in the prior meeting, ASU is looking at a 15.8% cut. And that is a really large cut. And I cannot believe, I don't know if I included it in the email that I sent, but I will, because we have about 1 minute, but I will include the letter from the Director of Business and Finance to you all, so you can kind of review where we are at with an IFC. The IFC hearings were yesterday, but again, the budgets do have to go through the Senate. So I'm going to work on that in like a pre-recorded video so that you all have the time and capacity to review it and make sure that you can like do it on your own time to review where the IFC is at, the decisions, and what we're going to be doing moving forward, but also in a sense as we stance right now on the cut that we're looking at. So I'll just go into answering questions. Yeah. Blanca.
Do we know about any other hearings happening? Just because I know the hearings were yesterday,
but both hearings were on the same day. And that's not accessible to the students. Like typically in the past, it's spread out between one day and then like another day so that it offers multiple opportunities for students. But having it one day is not accessible, and it was not accessible to me, obviously, so I couldn't attend. And I think it's very important that they allow for different opportunities for students to be able to go and voice their opinions.
Absolutely. To my knowledge, the only hearings took place yesterday. So I'm sorry. But I'll get back to my thought in a moment. Anne.
Sorry, I don't know if you mentioned it, but do you recall by how much percent we've been cut by?
15.8%.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Blanca.
Yes, I don't know if you know, but I know in the past also IFC has had like a survey that students can fill out if they weren't able to make it to the hearings. Is that being done, whatever, this year as well?
I'm not sure. Kelsey, do you have any insight on this? And yeah.
Yes, the IFC sent out an anonymous survey, a Google survey for students to fill out. I'm not sure that it's still up and running, but I know that they were reading testimonies from that in the 2 open hearings last night. And then I also wanted to add a little bit more information about the open hearings. There was discussion during the IFC about having it on 2 different days. And then the committee members made the choice to have it all on one day in order to have quorum, even though that hasn't traditionally been the process in the past.
Yeah, so I know that that's a lot. This is a lot, and I'm sure that this will be a heavy discussion moving forward. I think a really good thing that we're looking at now is that we're able to move on from a really big factor to not being able to focus on different priorities. So now that we can move on and focus on different priorities, I will definitely be heavily focused on that and making sure to get that information out to you all. And we can move forward with other really important things for the Senate. So I'm really excited. I'm trying to think of other messages that I'm forgetting. There was something that I forgot, but that's okay. I will definitely do that as an email. All right, perfect. Are there any other messages from the floor? Okay. And next on the agenda is adjournment. Are there any objections to adjournment tonight? Okay, seeing none. This meeting is adjourned at 7:04 p.m. Thank you all for staying, and thank you all for your time. Have a wonderful night.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome.
Wait, quick question.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
It was not related. It's not meeting related. Anyways,
Stop recording before you ask then.
oh,